Right now, a city-sized chunk of ice and rock is hurtling towards the sun. This is Comet Ison. Astronomers around the world are tracking it as it blazes brighter.
We've amassed the most technologically advanced armada of spacecraft in human history.
It presents the opportunity of a lifetime.
I feel like a little kid when these sorts of things happen.
To answer mind-boggling questions.
This is going to give us a picture of this comet like we've never seen before.
And learn more about our world. What's more, Comet Ison could shine spectacularly in our skies.
Could be brighter than the full moon.
People are talking about Comet of the Century, even Comet of the Millennium. It's a really exciting time.
Now, all eyes are on Ison for what could be the Comet of the Century. September the 21st, 2012. As darkness falls, astronomers around the globe turn their telescopes skyward. For most, it's a routine night of observing. But they are about to discover something never seen before. An insignificantly small point of light. But a closer look reveals it's no ordinary star. It's a new comet. It lies over 900 million kilometers away, far out in the depths of the solar system. Comets are mysterious chunks of rock and ice the size of cities. They usually lie beyond the realm of the planets. But occasionally, one can come close to the sun. When they do, they can grow spectacular tails, providing us with an incredible sight in the night sky. For astronomers, finding a new comet is an exciting event. But this comet is extraordinary. This is Ison.
Comet Ison is really important because we saw it first all the way out at 6 AU, 6 times farther from the sun than the Earth is.
Ison's unusual. It's much brighter than most comets, so it's visible from much further away.
Comet Ison being discovered so far out of the solar system means that it's obviously a very active object, and that naturally makes it more interesting right from the word go.
For many astronomers, Ison is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Studying it could help answer some fundamental questions. Where do comets come from? What are they made of? And most importantly, how will it affect planet Earth?
1, 0.
Today, scientists have launched a huge coordinated effort to view Ison in unprecedented detail.
We've amassed what is the single largest and most technologically advanced armada of spacecraft in human history, and we are turning those spacecraft to look at the comet over the next few months.
And from Earth, it has the potential to blaze in our night skies.
Ison could be a spectacular naked-eye comet. Could be brighter than the full moon.
People are talking about Comet of the Century, even Comet of the Millennium. It's a really exciting time.
Today, Ison's imminent arrival is awaited with eager anticipation. But comets haven't always been greeted with such enthusiasm. Turn back the clock just a few hundred years, and the reaction is very different. Throughout history, the sudden appearance of comets sent people running for cover. For astronomer Francisco Diego, their terrifying accounts give an insight into how our ancestors viewed the heavens.
In the old times, people realized that the sky is moving in a very orderly way, and they were developing calendars and ways of predicting all these motions of stars and planets and the sun and the moon. But suddenly, out of nowhere, we have these apparitions. The comets will come very fast against all these orderly motions that were so predictable. It must have been terrifying.
Even men of science, the astronomers of the time, thought comets were the harbingers of doom.
There is a quote by an astronomer in the 1600s. As often as any comet or blazing star appears in the world, we may assuredly pronounce to the inhabitants of the earth much sorrow and affliction, unusual storms and tempests, corrupted and infectious air, plague and famine, all tending to the mortality and destruction of humanity. That is amazing.
It's easy to dismiss our ancestors' fears. But today, scientists know a comet could pose a real threat to humanity. February the 15th, 2013. The world gets a spectacular reminder of how vulnerable we are to impacts from space. A chunk of rock over 15 meters across hurtles towards the Earth near the Russian city of Chelyabinsk. The meteorite itself hurts no one as it disintegrates in the atmosphere. But minutes later, the powerful shockwave it creates shatters windows, injuring over 1,000 people.
The Chelyabinsk meteorite was a small object, but even being such a small object, it caused a lot of damage.
At around 5 kilometers across, ISON is hundreds of times larger than the Chelyabinsk meteorite. Something this large slamming into the Earth would do much more than shatter windows. It could be devastating. Our first line of defense against a comet impact is Gareth Williams at the Minor Planets Center. Gareth's job is to calculate where ISON is heading and how close it will come to Earth.
The Minor Planet Center is responsible for keeping track of asteroids, comets, and natural satellites, particularly those that can come very close to us or even hit us. We want to be aware if and when that is going to happen.
With the help of powerful computers, Gareth starts calculating the comet's orbit. But just days after its discovery, that's easier said than done.
The problem with any object for which you've only got observations over a course of an hour, it's very hard to get a general orbit, to say with certainty this is the orbit.
Gareth turns to the global community of astronomers for more observations of ISON. But after hours of number crunching, he's still not sure whether the comet will strike us or not.
Even 3 days after discovery, I could easily fit more than 600 different, wildly different orbits.
It's hardly a precise answer. What's alarming is that some of the orbits bring ISON dangerously close to Earth. But Gareth has a final plan he hopes will help refine his calculations.
Or we can look in the past. We may have received observations from an observer who didn't realize that he had an interesting object.
The computers store a back catalogue of thousands of celestial objects. It's just possible that ISON might have been seen and logged before. This could be the breakthrough Garrett's looking for.
We used a computer program that takes those 600 orbits and compares them to all the unidentified observations, trying to saying, does this observation fit this orbit?
Garrett's in luck. Comet Ison was logged twice before. Now he can finally narrow down the 600 orbits to one.
One of the orbits of ISON produces 2 matches amongst the unidentified observations, and it's a really interesting orbit.
Garrett's calculations reveal ISON's orbit takes it almost 65 million kilometers from Earth. So we're spared from Armageddon. This time. But ISON might be on a path to its own destruction. On November the 28th, 2013, it will hurtle past one of the harshest environments in the solar system. The sun. The countdown to its sun-grazing encounter has begun. Comet Ison is driving headlong towards the sun. For astronomer Carl Battams, its newly calculated orbit is key to understanding what the future holds in store for the comet.
The predicted orbit for ISON means that it's a sun-grazing comet, and as the name implies, that means that this little ball of ice and rock is going to go flying right through the solar atmosphere, and it's almost literally going to graze the surface of the sun.
ISON will skim incredibly close over the sun's surface.
And this certainly has some very interesting and very exciting consequences.
First, there's the sun's searing heat.
The comet is going to be experiencing incredible amounts of solar radiation.
Then there's its immense gravitational pull.
When something like a comet is very close to the sun, it actually gets elongated, it gets stretched.
Finally, it'll be traveling at an incredible speed. Fast enough to fly from New York to LA in under 20 seconds.
We've got this extreme environment that this tiny, delicate little ball of ice is going to be flying through.
Passing so perilously close to the sun could destroy ISON. But it might also provide a spectacular sight. Seen from Earth, ISON could appear as the comet of the century in our skies. January 2013. ISON is around 800 million kilometers from the sun. Scientists have discovered it's on course for an incredibly close encounter. But for astronomer Carey Liss, ISON's orbit helps solve another puzzle: where the comet came from.
In front of me is a model of the solar system, and in it you can see that there are thousands of known comets. If we look at the comets, most of the comets seem to be going in the plane of the solar system, moving the same way that the planets do around the sun, almost like grooves in a record. But ISON is not that kind of comet. ISON is coming from a very different orbit that is not flat at all with respect to the solar system. It's coming from very far north at a very steep angle to the flat plane of the solar system. We know that ISON is a different kind of comet.